I like Mike McCarthy, and I'm very surprised Mike McCarthy didn't even go in for an interview with the Saints. I think he would have been a great fit over there. They got a tremendous amount of offensive weapons. They have a couple of good young players there that you can build around. You have Alvin Kamara. If they don't decide to trade him in the offseason, they still have some wide receiving back end, some good young wide receivers, and they have a couple of good young players. I would have thought that Mike McCarthy would be running the show over there. He might even be slightly the GM over there, making the plays on the players that he wants. That's something that he wanted to do with the Cowboys and never was going to get a chance to do that because Jerry Jones is there. So I was very surprised that Mike McCarthy wouldn't even go for an interview. Kliff Kingsbury, I'm not. I think Kliff Kingsbury has an opportunity next year to continue showing what he can do with young quarterbacks. And next year, when teams like the Jaguars, whoever they hire, well, they just hired Cohen, and we'll see how long that works over there. But he could be in it to win it this year and in it to lose it. So I've seen the Jaguars sign people. I've seen Carolina bring in guys and then fire people in the middle of the season in less than a year. I could see a team looking to bring in a guy that can fix a young quarterback. Ben Johnson's going over there with Caleb Williams, who had a very good season. I could see Kliff Kingsbury going to a team that has an opportunity to land the number 1 pick next year, and Archie Manning. So there's a good opportunity for a Kliff Kingsbury. I just don't see Kliff Kingsbury looking at the Saints and saying, oh, look at the quarterback play over there. I can help them. I mean, who do they got over there? You know who they got.
Oh, your boy.
You know who they got. They don't got nothing over there, ladies and gentlemen. So my opinion is I think Kliff Kingsbury was not a surprise. The Mike McCarthy thing, very, very surprised that he wouldn't even just go over there and hear them out. As we heard over when he was getting let go by the Dallas Cowboys, that there were going to be multiple teams calling him up for an interview, including Chicago, who never even asked to interview him, which was a surprise. As far as the Joe Brady thing, I think Joe Brady is another guy that's holding out for a better job. I think Miami is going to be looking for a new coach next year because Mike McDaniel is losing the locker room. There's a lot of players talking. We heard it in the end of the season. You could see Tyreek Hill is not very happy over there. So I could see that if this year doesn't work out with them and Tua does not stay healthy, I could absolutely see a guy like Joe Brady stay in the division and go to Miami. Why not? And that's where he wants to go. He wants to go probably into a hotter place. And I think that it would be a good fit over there in Miami because Miami's looking, with all the weapons that they have, looking to build around those guys like Waddle. And even if Tyreek Hill stays there, if he does stay there, they got a great running back and a chain too. Yep. So they got a tremendous amount of offensive pieces that they can build around. If it doesn't work out with Mike McDaniel, you can go after Joe Brady. He'll fit like a glove right over there. So I think it makes a lot of sense. As far as the New Orleans Saints, I feel bad for them. It's crazy to look at Mickey Loomis and how he has a job. All those things that happened when Sean Payton was there with the Viking thing and he was hiding things and all that other stuff. How does Mickey Loomis still have a job? I have no idea. But it's really a good question on where they go. I do believe Kellen Moore is going to get the job. Mike Kafka is not getting the job. Kellen Moore, after the playoffs are done, if they win a Super Bowl, if he wins a Super Bowl, it will be his first as an offensive coordinator. So then he will have an opportunity now to go as a champion to a team where he could be a head coach and get a chance for the first time in his career with a young team with no quarterback, which is practically half of the NFL right now. So actually more than half of the NFL right now. So he will go into the draft this coming year, either going after a Quentin Ewers or somebody like that. That would make more sense in my eyes. Or maybe they think they have a quarterback on the roster still, and they think that one of these guys can help them. I don't see it. I really don't. But Mike Kafka, they got to stay far, far away from Mike Kafka. I do not think Mike Kafka is the reason they're waiting for, Kellen Moore to try to win a Super Bowl. That's for sure.
Kellen Moore driving up Spencer Rattler would just ruin your entire takes on Spencer Rattler.
Stay far, far away from Mike Kafka.
Well, if Mike Kafka doesn't take the Saints job, there are rumors around Giants camp that Dable is being pressured into giving Kafka back the reins to call plays. In case you were wondering how that dumpster fire is going at this time, my God, the Saints. In my opinion, the reason that no one wants the Saints job is because their GM has put them in perpetual cap hell for the last decade, and they've been doing all these financial gymnastics that are really hard to get any new players on the team. They have to draft extraordinarily well just to keep up, and they've done a good job with it. It's kind of amazing that they haven't bottomed out, despite the fact that they're always like the number one team in debt going into the cap every year. They somehow figure it out. It's some kind of voodoo economics, as former President H.W. Bush once said. And I just think that this job is not what people want. It's going to be another one of those coaches that's just happy to take a job and put it on the resume.
Yeah, I don't think Kafka is going to get this job. I think they already were flying out this week to go see what Kellen Moore was up to, offer him a job. He'll probably take it the day after the Super Bowl. Honestly, the cap space in St. Louis or down there is at the Saints is terrible, and it's not going to be obtainable to win. So Kellen Moore's going to go there for 1-2 years, get fired. He'll find somebody else, hopefully draft a quarterback in that time, and go from there. As far as like Joe Brady, McCarthy, all those guys, Kliff Kingsbury, they didn't want to take the Saints job. McCarthy can go on NFL Network, talk for a year, get paid just as much, and then find a well-deserved job next year. Because I think the job he wanted was the Chicago Bears. And once Joe Brady said he was in, he's like, they didn't even want to interview anybody else. They had their guy, and that was that. But if they wouldn't have got their guy, then they would have moved on, and McCarthy probably would have taken that Chicago job.